gum in my face, I'm going to fight you.
Welcome back to Banging the Can, the Houston sports show that does not apologize for championship rings and tings, presented by Bolen Media. I am Ross Bolen, and man, this season of Astros baseball just refuses to stop being frustrating. The Astros have gone 6-4 over their last 10 games to now sit at 30 wins and 36 losses on the season. That is 6 games below 500 for those of you who really struggle with math, and 6.5 games back of first place in the American League West Division. Last night's loss to the Los Angeles Angels, where we went into the 8th inning with a 2-run lead, only to have Ryan Presley give up 2 runs in the 8th and Josh Hader give up 2 runs in the 9th, was maybe the worst loss of the season. We had the chance to sweep the 3-game series and choked it away, just like we did in the prior series against the St. Louis Cardinals, where we won the first 2 games and dropped the finale. And as we've said all season long, when we go into the final couple innings with a lead, considering our bullpen's pedigree, you expect to be stacking dubs in those situations, and that just hasn't been happening consistently for this team. So the frustrations continue. Every time I feel like there's an opportunity for this team to turn the corner, they shit the bed. Every time it feels like they might be gaining momentum, they drop the ball. Every time I start to think maybe this is the stretch where they close the gap, get over 500, and really start making the Mariners sweat, something horrible happens. And there has been no shortage of horrible happenings in the Houston Astros 2024 regular season. Most recently, as you're all surely aware at this point, the Astros lost both Jose Urquidy and Christian Javier to Tommy John surgery, which will keep them off the field for not only the rest of the 2024 season, but also likely a considerable amount of the 2025 season. Just a massive, massive bummer for a team that so badly needed more of their veteran starting pitchers to get healthy. And messaging around the loss of both Urquidy and Javier from the front office has been weird, for lack of a better term. Like, initial word was that both pitchers were having elbow surgery, kind of non-specific elbow surgery. Then after the surgeries occurred, it was clarified that these were both indeed Tommy John surgeries, which is obviously a dreaded thing for pitchers in baseball. Then Dana Brown, the general manager of the Houston Astros, hopped on the broadcast during last night's final game in the Angels series and said those 2 Tommy Johns are actually a testament to the team's success over the past 8 seasons, during which they've been to the ALCS every year and played a lot more baseball games than teams who don't make the playoffs or don't make deep postseason runs, which is just an absolutely insane attempt at spinning the story into something positive. Even if there is some degree of truth to it, I don't know why you would say it. Fortunately, Hunter Brown has stepped up and significantly improved over the past couple of weeks. Spencer Arrighetti has also started to come into form as a legit starting option. Framber Valdez has been more on point. Of course, Ronel Blanco has been solid all season, and Luis Garcia could return in the next month or so as he continues to make strides in his recovery from Tommy John surgery. Also, we still have Justin Verlander, which, thank God, again, that the Mets fumbled that entire situation. So all in all, really, the Astros do still seem to have enough quality starting pitchers. But I wouldn't be surprised to see Dana Brown in the front office try to add more depth before the trade deadline, as we have been getting the absolute shit end of the stick with all these pitching injuries all season long. The back end of the bullpen is what is just, there's a lot of money tied up in the trio of Brian Abreu, Ryan Presley, and Josh Hader, who simply have to perform and close the door in games where we've established a lead for them to hold, especially against bottom-dwelling teams like the Angels. That was just a completely unacceptable loss. We are 66 games into the season, and while we are not there yet, eventually, We're going to get to the point where these blown games become even more unacceptable losses that are absolutely devastating to this team's playoff odds. So it's just something for the bullpen to consider. The deeper we get into this thing, the more losses like last night's against the last place Angels when we had a lead going into the 8th with Presley and Kade there to shut the door hurt. Really, really hurt. You may have noticed these stylish and inarguably attractive and outrageous sunglasses on my face. These are from Goodr. Goodr. And wouldn't you know it, today's episode is brought to you by Goodr. Why Goodr? Because Goodr is making shades that are fun and affordable enough to make you forget your baseball team sucks ass. Starting at only $25 a pair, Goodr specializes in making no slip, no bounce, all polarized shades that you can do anything in. I've got 3 pairs. These on my face are the Save a Bull, Ride a Rodeo Clown. I've also got the From Zero to Blitzed, and the smaller is Baller. Goodr has over 50,000 5-star reviews. Every pair comes with a 1-year warranty plus 30-day free returns, and they're a 100% carbon neutral company. They're just gooder than everyone else. Unlike the Astros currently. What makes Goodr different? They are 100% polarized and only $25. You're not going to find better, more affordable sunglasses. It just can't be done. And because they're so affordable, I never have to worry about losing or breaking them. I take these to the pool. I swim with my kids. By the way, if you've got small children who are constantly ripping your sunglasses off of your face like mine are, with Goodr, you don't really have to worry about that because not only are they super affordable, but they're also pretty damn durable considering. They're always releasing new colors and collabs so you can lay low or get wild. These names of their different styles are hilarious, like Back 9 Blackout, Flamingos on a Booze Cruise, Donkey Goggles. They're great for running, cycling, working out, golfing, going to the beach, hiking, or just chilling, or playing baseball, for that matter. You can easily imagine seeing these on your favorite outfielder. They're lightweight, stylish, don't slip off your face. If you want to support the show and try a pair, Goodr is giving Can Bangers free shipping with every order. Just go to goodr.com/BTC and use code BTC for free shipping. Goodr offers a 30-day money-back guarantee and 100% satisfaction. Again, that's goodr.com/BTC. Use code BTC for free shipping. goodr.com/BTC. Hit the link in the episode description below and check out all the incredible frames that Goodr has to offer. Now, before we move on from pitching woes, I want to address the Ryan Presley stuff a little bit. This season will obviously not go down as one of his best, and there are a bevy of reasons for why. But I'm still pissed at the front office for even putting him in this position. If you are known as America's closer, that's your literal nickname, and they bring in a new closer in Josh Hader and demote you to Bridgeman, you're going to take that some kind of way. That's tough. Everybody knows pitching is a mental game. Everybody knows closers tend to be a little more mentally unstable than perhaps any other position in the sport. These guys have to come mentally prepared night in, night out into the most high leverage, high pressure situations that any pitcher in the sport faces. And if you get demoted, it's going to require some kind of mental adjustment that frankly is partially on the manager, Joe Espada, and the GM, Dana Brown, to ensure you are supported in achieving. Right? It's on Presley at the end of the day, to be sure. It's on him at the end of the day. But as an organization, I don't feel like it was taken seriously enough that you're taking a guy who's a lifelong closer and you're putting him in a different position and you're going to need to support him in that change being made. On top of that, Presley threw 25 pitches in a 5-run win on Saturday. Why in the hell was he out there the next night on Sunday in the 8th inning when we had other options? That's it. It's not like we didn't have other arms in the pen that were ready to go or that should have been ready to go. So this is just the latest example of Joe Espada baffling many Astros fans with his overall strategy and in some cases personnel execution. Excuse me. If you've already demoted a guy and taken away the identity he spent his entire career crafting, and he's had a rough year where his confidence is clearly waning, maybe do your best not to put him in a position like the one I just outlined where he threw 25 pitches the night prior, and now you've got him out there with a 2-run lead in the 8th to bridge the gap between Abreu and Josh Hader. I'm not trying to make excuses for Ryan Presley, all right? But I am absolutely calling out the way they have handled him and his situation this season. And so far, look, we don't know what goes on behind closed doors with the Astros organization, obviously. And the way that this team handles the media doesn't put us as fans in a very good position to evaluate exactly what the fuck is going on, does it? They play things like the Patriots of old, with Bill Belichick refusing to give any amount of detail or answer on literally anything that happens with that team, including injuries. That's the playbook that the Astros have utilized season after season after season after season, even between coaching changes and managerial changes and front office changes. They've stuck with that. It's clearly what Jim Crane wants. But when you have a situation like this where your closer is demoted to bridge man, and then he struggles, and then the closer you brought in Josh Hader, doesn't exactly perform up to snuff as advertised, there are going to be questions, and there are going to be doubts, and there are going to be concerns, and those are what I'm expressing to you now. It has been concerning to see the way they have handled the Ryan Presley situation as a microcosm of the season on the whole. And so far, while the deck has been stacked against him in some ways, there are very few reasons to be impressed with Joe Espada. That's my overall point here. Espada, as manager, has obviously not gone as we planned, and I'm not trying to, pile on him week after week or whatever, but, it's stuff like this, as an example, the Ryan Presley situation, that makes me wonder what the hell he's doing as a leader, Joe Espada. What kind of presence he brings to the clubhouse. What he's instilling in some of his core, cornerstone players. And Presley is without a doubt one of those cornerstone guys. It's been here for the better part of the last several years of dominance. So I think most Astros fans are underwhelmed by what they have seen in terms of strategy from the new skipper. And I hope that changes by the season's end. But week to week, series to series right now, we're pretty much seeing and getting the same messaging from both Espada and Dana Brown. And I'm at the point where it's more than mildly annoying. Other Astros woes include Kyle Tucker being placed on the 10-day IL thanks to a right shin contusion caused by fouling a ball off his own leg, which obviously sucks Harry Dong, especially because Tucker is having an absolutely unbelievable year, leading the team in home runs and RBIs and OPS and stolen bases. Undoubtedly an all-star. But if you need a positive spin, at least Joey Loperfido has been called up again to hopefully get some more looks at the plate and in the outfield, presumably. Loperfido got some more reps in at first base while he was back down in the minors. But the team clearly has been hesitant to move on from Jose Abreu at first base, who is back from his stint in Florida. And Jose Abreu has looked a bit better since his return, to be fair. But man, it is still tough to look at his team low 132 batting average. And if I'm being honest, the way he runs the bases and feel confident. He's like Martin Maldonado out there when he's running the bases, man. It's not even a waddle, though. At least watching Maldonado run was mildly humorous. Abreu doesn't even have that going. It's not funny. It looks like an injured old man hobbling around the bases. Again, I hope Jose Abreu continues to find his stride and produce for the team and get himself back on track. But my confidence in his ability to do so is not high. Is it high for anyone? Really? Even Jeff Bagwell at this point has to be questioning his first baseman. And that is why I think Joey Loperfido is getting more reps at first base in the minors. Because if Abreu falls back into the basement and stinks beyond belief again, Loperfido needs to be ready. We've got more than enough outfielders. We do not have enough first basemen. And if the pitching injuries and losing Kyle Tucker wasn't enough, Alex Bregman keeps getting beaned, and last night he took one off the left hand, a sinker, I think it was 92 miles an hour, left the game, and Mauricio Dubon had to step up at third base. X-rays came back negative, which is a phenomenal thing for those of you who aren't doctors. And Bregman declared himself good to go after the game. But, it'll still be interesting to see if he's in the lineup for the series opener against the Giants tonight, because that looked like it hurt. And obviously, anytime a player exits the field with an injury or any kind of pain, it's concerning. Thank God for Mauricio Dubon, by the way, the ultimate utility man. First base, second base, center field, third base. Dubon can play wherever. He's hitting .297. He's got 21 RBIs. Really, the only thing Mauricio Dubon doesn't do is hit home runs, as he only has 2 on the year. But you cannot say enough about this guy and how he's been so huge for this team over the past couple of seasons. Just round of applause for Mauricio Dubon, who continues to be that dude once again for the Astros this season, filling in holes as they form for the team. So, let's take a look at the Houston Astros' upcoming games for the remainder of the month of June. We got the San Francisco Giants in San Francisco, first game tonight. That's a 3-game series. After that, Detroit Tigers back in Houston, 3-game series. After that, Chicago White Sox in Chi-Town, 3-game series. Then you got the Baltimore Orioles back at home, 3-game series. Colorado Rockies at home, 2-game series. So that's a 5-game stretch back in Minute Maid Park. And then you close out June with the New York Mets in New York. That's a 3-game series. That's 17 games left in June. Just hypothetically, you win 12, you lose 5, you're back above 500. And that is doable against these teams. The Giants, middle of the pack. Detroit, middle of the pack. The White Sox suck ass. The Mets suck ass. The Rockies suck ass. So really the Orioles are the only really good team we're facing in the remainder of June, and that's at home for 3 games. The Astros are still second in batting average, 6th in on-base percentage, 4th in home runs, 10th in runs, which they've improved a bit. The offense is still there, is my point. The defense, the pitching is where we need to see continued improvement and stability with all these injuries that have occurred. And obviously, even more so than I said earlier this season, guys like Hunter Brown and Spencer Arrighetti are going to be incredibly important. They have got to keep the wheels on. We are relying so much more on them than we thought we would have to, right? It's an uphill battle. It's an uphill battle because of the pitching, because of the injuries that have occurred, because of the loss of Javier and Kade, because Kyle Tucker's gone down on the 10-day IL, because Bregman's getting pegged in the fucking hand every other at bat. There's been a lot going on this season. There's a lot of adversity, and if you've been paying attention over the past 8 years, especially when we've had this incredible run of dominance making the CS every single season, that's baseball. Adversity, that's baseball. Nothing ever goes the way you think it will. There is no perfect season where everyone stays healthy and everything goes to plan. It rarely does. So you got to make adjustments. You got to overcome. And that's what this team is attempting to do. But like I said earlier in the show, every time it feels like they're right there about to get over the hump, some shit happens, and it feels like we're back at square one. But for those of us who were trying to bury this team earlier in the season, it ain't over yet, and that's become abundantly clear. There is still a lot of baseball left to be played, and the Astros are still well within striking distance, because the rest of the American League West has completely failed to run away with it. Like, we're like a game and a half behind the World Series defending champion Texas Rangers at this point. Seattle Mariners, like I said, 6.5 games up. if we hadn't completely fucking blown it in that series against the Mariners few weeks ago, losing 3 of 4, we could be in a position where we're just a few games back right now. But we've been right there. And a lot has gone wrong. More than any of us could have possibly expected would go wrong this season has happened already, with a lot of games left to be played. And with every passing week, the sense of urgency grows. But this team has proven it is full of winners year after year after year after year. And what do winners do? They find a way to win. So keep the faith for now, Astros fans, and we'll see what happens. That'll do it for today's show. Remember, every episode of Banging the Can is available for you to watch on youtube.com/@bangingthecan for those of you who would prefer to watch rather than just listen. We are obviously on all the major podcast platforms as well. Frankly, if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever, even if you don't care to watch, I would appreciate you taking the time to subscribe on youtube.com/@bangingthecan so we can continue to grow the show. That helps us. We appreciate you if you do that. On that note, please share the most unapologetic Houston sports show in existence with your friends and family. Follow us on social media at Banging the Can on TikTok, Instagram, and X, formerly known as Twitter. Support our sponsors. Every time we have a new episode drop, in the description of that episode, you will find the links, the codes, and the details for that show's sponsors in that description. Please check out the description below this episode and support our sponsors from today. Check out my media startup, Bolen Media, at bolenmedia.com. My comedy show, The Ross Bolen Podcast, available wherever you are consuming Banging the Can. And if you're watching House of the Dragon Season 2 that starts this Sunday, season premiere this Sunday, House of the Dragon Season 2, I've got a companion podcast for you that I host with another Houston born and bred guy, Barrett Dudley. It's called Oysters, Clams, and Cockles. How does it work? You watch the new episode of House of the Dragon, and then the next day, you listen to Oysters, Clams, and Cockles, where we break down each episode, discuss what occurred, and make a lot of jokes along the way. If you're an F1 fan, check out Formula Bone. Go to youtube.com/@FormulaBone and subscribe. It's Bolen Media's premier F1 programming, hosted by Jared J-Bone Borislow. Before every race and after every race, you got a preview, you got a recap. Formula Bone, best American F1 content brand in the game. Check it out at Formula Bone on all the social media platforms. Formula Bone is also available on all the major podcast platforms. I'm Ross Bolen. You can follow me on Twitter or X and Instagram at WRBOLEN. That's at WRBolen. I'll be back next week. Until next time, H-Town. Stay down.